Hi guys! So I've got you propped up so I get to move, but my background is going to stay still, which I don't know if that's something that's exciting or not exciting, or sometimes things that are different are cool. So anyway, today I'm going to head to go get my cash for the 1st through the 15th part of my month. So I've got my my little setup here. I've got my, let's cover up some information. My withdrawal slip all set up. All I have to do is sign it. Don't sign things that help people get money out of your bank account until you're standing in front of the teller humanoid, because they can take everything out of your bank account. So what I do is I also take a envelope with me, and I write down how much money it is, $250. I also write down how I want the breakout to be, so 3 50s, that's for my groceries. I give myself $50 per week, plus a little bit extra in case I need it. At the end of the month, if I have a lot of extra, I put that towards my gardening fund, because my garden will feed me. That's if I get it planted ever. And 5 20s. The 20s I use for my allowance. So that's kind of what this video is about. Showing you what I do to earn my allowance so that I can go pull out the money and put a $20 bill in my pocket. I dropped a bunch of stuff earlier because this is my second time trying to make this video. Last time I ran out of space in my phone, so I went and deleted a bunch of things. Okay. So here we go. In my calendar, I write down whenever I spend money. So let's go to September, because obviously October just started. I also write down things like days that I have to work a day shift, a baby shower that I went to. It was really fun. They made really cute stuff, and I found a candy that I could eat that didn't have dairy or wheat in it, but everything else was pretty much not okay for me. I write down medical appointments. I write down my anticipated budget. I write down when I spend the money on things. Like when I go grocery shopping, I wrote down that I bought fuel for $39.20, and then I went grocery shopping at Safeway and I spent $83, and then I bought some extra stuff that was $12.48 that I had to compensate for out of my other parts of my budget things. So that was from my personal stuff, because it was, I think it was medicine or something. I don't remember. I write down people's birthdays. I write down, because I'm a supervisor at work, I write down when my people aren't going to be in, things like that. So here's October, all fresh and clean. And the top part is full of days. So on the bottom part is where I wrote down my budgety information. Yay. Fun. So I also make sure that my financial goal is in here. This month of October, I will finish paying my SOC, which I wanted to have $500 in cash sitting at home for if something terrible happens and I can't make it to a bank. And like a prime example would be a couple months back, my alternator tested that it was giving up the ghost, which is why my battery kept dying. It wasn't that my battery was bad, it was that my battery wasn't receiving a charge from my alternator. And for like 4 years I've been telling people to test my alternator. I think my alternator's going out, and they're like, no. So even when you're a girl who's capable and competent, trust your instincts when the fellas tell you that you have no idea what you're talking about. That's like a whole other tangent. My goal for this month is to put minimum 690 towards my Stomp It. Until January 1st, I will be working on Stomp It goals. I've been budgeting since January 2017. And my goal was, I had some little debts to pay off. I had a phone bill to pay off for my phone died and it was too early to be able to get the free replacement. So I had to buy a phone, like $800 phone. It's ridiculous. I didn't have to buy an $800 phone, but I do like my smartphone and I've got unlimited data, so like it's internet in my pocket all the time everywhere I go, which is kind of a blessing and kind of a curse, but that is what it is. So I've been budgeting since January 2017. I've only paid off little debts like that. I paid off my phone. I'd gotten a really nice tax return, like just shy of enough to fill my baby step 1, and I was so excited about it. And then I found a piece of paperwork from when I had settled on a credit card, and that $5,000 that I settled, I settled with my credit card company. It wasn't like through a third party or anything. But that $5,000 that I settled counted as income when it became tax time. So I had to refile my taxes, and instead of getting $900, I ended up owing, what did I owe? Like $400 for state and $800 and something for feds. So there goes my emergency fund that I had just filled up, and boom, the next month it was all gone. I don't think it was even a whole month. So that was February. And then, well, I think it took me until March or April to finally finish paying all that off, because that was about the time when my car broke down. It didn't break down. It was, what all happened? So my alternator went out. I bought that. That was February. My aunt loaned me $50 because I didn't have the whole entire money to be able to buy the bits. It was like $25 to test it, and they're like, yeah, your alternator, it works, but it's not working optimally. And I was like, finally, somebody who believes me. So, yeah, that was really cool. And they said, well, we can replace it for you for $200. And I said, well, how much if I just get the alternator? And he said, well, like $110, because it's replacing an alternator. There's like 2 wires that plug in and like 3 bolts that you bolt in, and it doesn't even need torque necessarily. You just get it nice and tight, but don't strip anything out, and then you re-stretch your belts on it. Like, it's a really, I think it's an easier fix than changing your oil. So if you're capable of changing your oil, you can totally change out your alternator, because it's just an unbolt it, unplug it, plug the new one back in, bolt it on, get your belt on. Easy peasy. Yeah. I don't know. I can do things like that. I've changed my water pump on my truck. I've changed tensioner pulleys, things like that. So I don't know. Maybe it's like the 7 years that I spent working on a radar guided weapon system. So like, I can change out radar components. I can change out components in my car. Maybe I'm special. Totally special. Anyway, okay, so my my allowance, it's taken me a long time to be able to get my emergency fund. I've had it funded since June, July. So I've done August, September, and now we're into October with my emergency fund funded, which is yay. Hopefully Murphy's taken a chill pill. I will have that sock, which is my baby emergency fund, which is how I got on the tangent about fixing my car, because that was $100. If I'd had a $100 bill just chilling at home, I'd have been like, yo, take me home. Let's go grab some cash and we'll make this happen, even on a Saturday. So, that's what my sock emergency fund is. It's like not necessarily an emergency fund. It'll be like a buffer fund, a life buffer fund. If my car breaks down and I don't have enough money in my car fix-it repair fund, I also have a little bit of money in my sock fund. And I can dip into that before I necessarily dip into my Murphy fund, aka my emergency fund, which is sitting at a bank. So that's kind of what that sock fund is for. It's not a rainy day fund. Rainy day fund is separate, but I can go into that at another time. Rainy day fund is kind of like when things are gloomy and you want to go and do something and, oh look, I still have a $20 bill, which is the leftovers of my allowance. Like if I don't use up all of my allowance, I chuck it into a can, call it my rainy day fund. So when I'm feeling glum and I want to go and buy a bouquet of flowers, I can buy a bouquet of flowers, or I can buy these really cool bulbs. They're not going to feed me, but they're going to be pretty and they'll make me feel better. And I get to grow things. So, yeah. So to get my allowance, what I do is I write in, just like I showed in the September, I'll write in anything that I bought. It's October, so I don't have anything to write in. I already dealt with the last week of September. So what I'm going to do for this week to earn my allowance is to double check that I've got all of my budget items written into my calendar, what days my bills get paid out of my account, what days I'm intending on pulling out cash, what days I get paid. I really only get paid twice. I get disability and my paycheck is once a week or once a month. Also double check that any days that I'm not going to school, like school's closed, write those in here. Write down any doctor's appointments. What else do I need to write down in here? Oh, and then deal with all of my receipts from September. So I keep in the back of my planner my receipts and my allowance. So I fill this long envelope up with my allowance money. That's 5/20s. And then as I do my monthly purchasing, I throw my money into here. It's my receipts, reconcile weekly. And that's how I normally earn my allowance, is I reconcile these receipts, and which to me means writing them in my calendar. Make sure they're in there. And then I put the receipts into this, which is my once a month. I have this one split out based on the areas. So there's food and fuel and car stuff and things that I bought with my allowance, stuff I bought critters, random extras. And my random extras are, I used my allowance to pay a kid who was doing a walkathon, and I gave her like $1 a lap and she did 20 laps, so I gave her $20, which is cool. It's fine. It is what it is. So then I take the receipts out of here and I put them in their corresponding spots, whether they're food, and another food. So But since it's the end of the month, I'm going to pull everything out of here. So there's food and fuel. I think I'm missing a fuel receipt. Car, nope. I bought some stuff at Goodwill last month. That's right, I got a couple pairs of jeans. And I also, oh yeah, I bought a little journal at the pharmacy for doing my food logging in. And a little vat of petroleum jelly because the dog has like a cracked nose. By Mart stuff. And oh, there's another section back there. It's gardening. That's funny. Okay, let's fold this so that I can see my garden section. Okay, random extras and a garden section, which is cool. I like gardening. Okay, so it's all emptied out. And then what I do is I go over to my next one, a blue one. This one's separated out by the months. It's like January, February. Golly, look at how full this thing is. So that last one was September. So all of this stuff goes behind September. There's only 3 pockets left at the back, you guys. Like, I remember when I was filling up the front of this. Really glad to be past that. Check out this receipt. I didn't get an actual receipt. The total that they wrote on the bag for going to a butcher shop. That's funny. Oh, this will be fun to go through. Yeah. Some months were really crazy. Lots of things that I bought. Some months were not so much. So there we go. That's what I do at the end of the month is I transfer all my receipts over into their monthly. Pull them out of their sections. Put them into the monthly. Yep. There we go. Being on October. No. Maybe I'm just making this video so I don't have to clean out all my Tupperware food storage containers. Probably. I haven't done any push-ups yet today either. How many ways can we avoid doing the things we said that we would do? Oh, itchy. All right. Have a great day. There is still at least one more video because I do need to do that 30-day Clutterbug declutter challenge. I was just looking at the list. It's gonna get really hard as things go on because I don't have kid toys and I don't have kid clothes and I don't have a coats closet. So I'll have to come up with things to fill that in, but oh well. I have to come up with something because if I put that day off, then I'll probably lose forward momentum completely. Anybody else like that? All right. Have a good day and have a good week. Happy Monday. Bye.